Ryan Imbriale, an administrator in Baltimore County Public Schools, with a class using laptops last year at Mays Chapel Elementary School in Timonium, MD. Matt Roth for the New York Times. Baltimore County Public Schools has pursued one of the most ambitious classroom technology makeovers in the United States. Now, some of its relationships with technology vendors are coming under intensified scrutiny. A Maryland state legislator said Thursday that the state needed to investigate whether industry perks played a role in the awarding of the district's technology contracts. The lawmaker, Senator James Brochin, called on the Maryland State Board of Education to conduct an audit of the contracts. In 2014, the district committed $205 million for laptops for students and staff, millions more since for math and language software. The audit would cover the device contract, which was awarded to a vendor whose laptop came in third place in the district's hardware evaluations. Last week, an article in the New York Times examined Baltimore County, the nation's 25th largest public school district, as a case study in how tech companies court and cultivate school leaders. The Baltimore Sun has recently written about the former district superintendent's travels to out-of-state events. The Times found that tech vendors or industry-funded groups paid for meals and rooms at fancy hotels for school leaders, as well as travel to conferences to promote the district's tech initiative. And in February, the district's former superintendent participated in confidential meetings with school tech vendors, companies whose contracts were later increased. Evidence offered in the recent articles indicates digital education companies having unrestricted access to key decision-makers in Baltimore County Public Schools and, in turn, the awarding of contracts to those companies, Senator Brochin, a Baltimore County Democrat, said in a letter sent to state officials. This has created the illusion of impropriety, thereby eroding public trust. In response to questions about the audit request and potential conflict of interest issues regarding tech vendors, Michael Dickerson, a school district spokesman, said the district had answered all the questions we intend to answer on this matter. This past spring, the district superintendent resigned without citing a reason. In an email to reporters last week, Violetta White, the district's interim superintendent, wrote, "I do not believe there are any conflicts of interest related to the district's tech initiative. The push for an examination comes as some parents, ethicists, and legal experts are calling for greater transparency in school vendor relationships. Anything that involves trips to fancy hotels should be looked at pretty closely by school boards," said James E. Tierney, a former Attorney General of Maine who is a lecturer at Harvard Law School, "and they should decide whether the ultimate users, kids, are getting the right products." Senator Brochin said he was concerned about Baltimore County's ties to a firm called the Education Research and Development Institute, or ERDI. Among other services provided by ERDI, it charges a company $13,000 to facilitate one 3-hour meeting between corporate representatives and 5 superintendents or other school officials to discuss products, according to an ERDI membership rate card. ERDI has in the past paid superintendents $2,000 per conference and covered the travel to conferences held at hotels like the Four Seasons in Baltimore. Baltimore County's previous superintendent received payments last year as an advisor to a company that owned ERDI, according to his district financial disclosure. The Times last week reported that Ms. White, the interim superintendent, had been involved with ERDI events since 2013, where she provided guidance to edtech companies. On Wednesday, the Baltimore Sun reported that Ms. White had been paid about $3,000 a year by ERDI in that time. The district declined to provide the Times with a list of the companies Ms. White met with at ERDI. A version of this article appears in print on November 10, 2017, on page B3 of the New York edition with the headline "Inquiry is urged for school tech deals."